How has the realization helped you, and what have been the highlights so far?
Well, yeah, just dating like absolute worldies, being able to invite women back to my place, which is great. But then it's kind of like at the beginning when you're coming from this place where that sort of thing didn't happen, when you actually realise that it could happen.
Any examples of you doing something that you wouldn't have done before and that leading to a mind-blowing result?
The other week I was just casually, kind of like it was almost instinctive. I was speaking to her. I was speaking from a place of instinct, and we decided to just go food and drinks. And if you're able to do the course, then you become the authentic self, and you'll be kind of like learning to connect with those people better. But then beyond that, you also kind of like get to see that there's a world out there and it's a good place to be.
Welcome to another Succeed in Dating client testimonial. Today we've got one of my clients, John, who's been on the program for quite a few months, getting through it well, having a lot of realizations. So I just wanted to have a conversation, ask a few questions to let everyone else know who's interested in coaching, wants to improve their dating life, wants to improve their confidence, how this actually works. First question, John, is what was it that you were struggling with, or what was it that made you feel that you needed coaching in this area?
Previous relationships was not going my way. It kind of like felt like it was a binary choice between having a relationship with somebody that turns out to be psycho, or staying alone. Obviously with the coaching, it's kind of like helped me that there is sort of like a middle ground, to actually not have to worry about personal boundaries, staying safe and secure, and then beyond that, just enjoying your life.
Before the program, what was your skill level when it comes to dating?
After the breakup, I did become quite reclusive. So I wasn't talking to anyone, never mind women as such, because I wasn't feeling good in myself. But then, of course, I did actually kind of like to some realizations on the course that those kind of like issues probably predated that particular relationship. So with that, it was just acknowledging what was there, what the kind of like the mind perceives as real isn't actually a reality. So just realizing that you're kind of like the value add to the world is significantly more than what you actually realize, if that makes sense.
What was it that made you dig into self-development? The idea that you can build your confidence, you can be more present, you can become more charismatic?
Yeah, I probably would say there wasn't kind of like an epiphany moment as such. It was a cumulative effect of listening to audiobooks about Eckhart Tolle, becoming self-aware, and beyond that, if there's more out there, then feel kind of like I heard something online that resonated with me, so to see whether or not they could be helping. Obviously, when we started speaking, it was resonated with me, so I decided to sort of like go with it.
What would you say your goals were just before you took the program?
I mean, at the time, it was a case of just wanting to get that evidence that it wasn't a binary choice between settling for a psycho or being alone, if that makes sense. Kind of like there was part of me that kind of like knew that was the case, but I just didn't know how to actually get there, if that makes sense.
How do you feel about the program? Obviously, we're still working, but the results that you got, the realizations, the knowledge that you've been given on an emotional level, like how do you feel about that?
Good. It's a good feeling. It's reassuring that the support is there. It's kind of like the epiphanies that I've had along the way, just kind of like make you realise that all is not what it seems at the beginning. There are goals you'll achieve, but that it's not always apparent as to how you get there. And sometimes the kind of like the epiphanies that you have are kind of like quite profound in the sense that you don't have to suffer the illusion anymore.
How has that played out in a real life situation, and what have been the highlights so far?
Well, yeah, just dating like absolute worldies, being able to invite women back to my place, which is great. But then it's kind of like at the beginning when you're kind of from this place where that sort of thing didn't happen, when you actually realise that it could happen, it's like, you're kind of like angry as to why you didn't realise this before, but then B, moving forward, how good is life going to be?
Any examples of you doing something that you wouldn't have done before and that leading to a mind-blowing result? Have you got any like recent examples or within the last however long? Yeah.
The other week I was just casually, kind of like it was almost instinctive. I was speaking to her. I was speaking from a place of instinct, and we decided to just go food and drinks, and agreed to sort of like meet another time, even though we was in two different cities. We was messaging. It was almost like that just came from a place of instinct. So it was like before you would have kind of like not done that, if that makes sense.
Is there any distinct differences between how you were before the program and the high point of what you achieved on this program?
Before, there wasn't a blueprint to how I actually get myself away from the slumber after the breakup. Now I've had to realise those realisations that there is more to it. If there is kind of like a day where you're feeling a little bit blue, then you've got the blueprint, if you like, to actually get yourself back into a space where life's worth living, you know.
Let's say someone's struggling, they don't know where to turn, they don't even know there's such thing as dating coaches or confidence coaches. If someone could see this video, what message would you give them?
You're worth the time and the space to actually learn what I've learned. You know, there's people out there that love you, that care about you. And if you're able to do the course, then you become the authentic self, and you'll be kind of like learning to connect with those people better. But then beyond that, you also kind of like get to see that there's a world out there and it's a good place to be.
Are you happy that you took the program, and how do you feel about it? That's the last question, really.
Yeah, I'm happy I took the program, and it's there are times where it's the priority. Then there's other times where sometimes from time to time, because life happens, it has to kind of like go on the back burner for a bit. But with everything, it does kind of like seep into other areas of your life: professional, personal, emotional, spiritual. So yeah, I'm kind of like happy that in the sense that not only am I able, feeling secure with the relationships that I have, it's been a kind of like it's seeped into other areas of life to actually better those areas as well.